everyone. Welcome to the No Lake Trust show and to our live cast today. I'm Christine George, your host, and I'm also the co-founder of Post and Beam Creative. Today, we have a really special guest for you. Gidon Sobel, pronounced like get on up, is with us. Gidon is the founder and president of Purple Plum Consulting. And we're going to learn all about his company and Monday.com today. Originally from South Africa, you are. You spent about 25 years in the IT space, working for some big companies like Accenture and Home Depot. So you have a little bit of experience behind you. Gidon started Purple Plum as a retail and restaurant company, and then was hit with the Monday.com bug, which is what we're here to talk about. And that was, I think, back in like 2018. So now you're a platinum member and you actually got an award from Monday.com. So congratulations for that. So this is going to be a great show today. I'm just going to dig right in. Thanks for being here. Give us your background. Tell us how you got started and how you landed where you are.
Sure. Well, it's great to be here. And as I like to say, for us, every day is Monday, even though it's Thursday, right? And when you're working in the world of Monday.com, it's a common joke, but it resonates. So, always happy to talk about Monday, share the goodness with everyone that's interested. As you mentioned, kind of have a bit of a meandering background. Grew up, born in South Africa, grew up in Australia, a couple of cities in the US along the way. Really all about technology, all sorts of interesting platforms, manage different teams, play different roles on the business side, IT side, consulting side, saw the pain points and that people go through in different types of roles. And then, as you pointed out, I got bitten by the Monday bug in 2018-19, just doing my thing, managing a large restaurant technology project, needed something to cheap, simple to manage project, Googled cheap, inexpensive, task list software. Monday.com came up, and here we are. I kind of, something inside of me basically said, this is going to be big. It's not often that in our lives we kind of have that feeling about something, and for me that had never been the case. But just some little voice inside said, this is going to be big. And on the side, everyone has a side hustle and a main hustle, right? So my side hustle for a couple of years was Monday. I had some part-time contractors doing Monday implementation work, and then slowly but surely kind of moved over to the main hustle became the side hustle became the main hustle, and we became a Monday.com partner. Many software platforms have partners that help with implementation and support and training, and so that's what we focus on. We're based in Atlanta and have folks in various cities around the country. And I was just thinking a bit of trivia for you and your audience. If anyone knows what the name of the company was before Monday.com, I bet you don't know that.
Oh, that is a great question.
You were going to be asking me questions.
Yeah, tell me. What was it?
It's as a marketing person, you will be happy that it's Monday.com. Now, the name of the company was Depulse, DAPULSE, Depulse.com, as Depulse. And the reason that I believe was in place was, Monday.com is like a very fancy spreadsheet. It's got items. So they used to call each item, each row in the real estate sense, each property was called a pulse. And the pulse went through its journey, exactly.
Terrible.
And then
Terrible.
the platform was the Depulse, a little bit hip-ish, I guess.
Awful. And
so fortunately, they went to a very solid branding and marketing company, and they came up with Monday. And so,
that is fantastic. Oh my God.
You will see, and I know you're a Monday user, Christine, if you look in some of the URLs, it will say pulse /pulse/ It's still
really?
It's really interesting.
That is cool. That's a little insider information, a little inside track. I love that.
Anyway.
So I'm curious why Monday, because I'll tell you, well, first of all, you have a completely different mind. You come from a completely different approach being in IT. Like you've got a very, logical, methodical, mindset, right?
My wife would say rigid, but yeah, we can keep
rigid.
going.
Okay. Well, my husband is an engineer, so I get that. I totally get it. So, and Carrie and I, well, the whole reason that we connected is because Monday.com has been a game changer for us at Post and Beam. I mean, it has helped us to streamline our business and make it so much more efficient. And since we've met you, we actually have leveled up even more. We used Asana before. I've also used Basecamp and Trello, like all of these different project management systems, but Monday has stuck with us too. But from your perspective, why Monday versus all of these others?
It's a great question, because in any industry, in any space, there are multiple products. For me, why we gravitated to Monday is really Monday gravitated to us, right? I didn't do as you said, a rigorous methodical analysis of the market and play with all the tools and rank and stack them and choose Monday. It just, as I mentioned, I discovered it. I felt something clicked. And so I went with it. And the reason I went with it is it just felt intuitive and easy to use. And I would even say almost fun, right? And I think that's really important in technology, that it doesn't feel like technology, and that it's just fun to use and pleasurable. And as you know, when you mark a task complete on Monday and you move it to a status of done, you get that little confetti spray, and then that's the dopamine flows. I feel like I actually got something done. It feels good, and those little nuances, not rocket science, but just kind of a little bit of EQ built into the platform, if you like, just I think makes a difference to people, and some of the other behaviors of the platform, and that it's not overly complex, and that it's accessible to folks on the business side or on the startup side. That to me, I think, is an important differentiator in terms of the usability. And I think the other reason for me why I'm so passionate about Monday is they are laser focused on a mission, and that they want to make a new platform that everyone uses, kind of like Windows, right? Just like we use Windows as our kind of operating system for a desktop. Monday actually calls their platform a work OS, a work operating system. So where do you go to do work? You go to Monday, and they're trying to make that the go-to place for an individual in multiple industries. So instead of going to email or text, you go to Monday, and that's starting to happen. And you're starting to see that in your own business. I got a request in from my customer for, this brochure or this poster. And if you extrapolate that, it just means that it's kind of like that central location. So that vision of Monday, I think, is very solid, and they've kept on delivering and surprising along the way. So that's really that's the why Monday for me, right?
Yeah. No, I totally understand that, like the intuitive piece of it, like the UI, the user experience piece of it, no matter what the technology is, needs to be really good. It needs to be really good. Otherwise, people are not going to use the technology. And I think what you said about them having a laser focused vision for making Monday sort of the work OS, of Windows or of Apple, like it makes a lot of sense. And when I just, that kind of stuff totally jazzes me, Gidon, because it's like when somebody's got like a very simple vision like that, they can just drive towards it. And I think, you see how that has been successful for so many.
And I think their failure is okay. They will fail. They'll redo things. They'll release something, get feedback, pull it back, re-release it. They've changed the UI probably 4 or 5 times in the last 4 years just to make it better and more streamlined and more intuitive. And so that commitment to kind of, refinement, is compelling, right?
Yeah. I think it's important, before we get on to the next question, for me to just let our audience know that we are not an affiliate. Post and Beam Creative is not an affiliate of Monday. We do not get any kickbacks or any commissions for, talking about Monday. We just really believe in the product. We use it ourselves. And, the reason why we're having Gidon on here, we're also hosting a free webinar next Thursday, September 7th at noon Eastern. The reason for that is because it has been such a game changer for us. We know, that it can be a game changer for our real estate clients as well.
Basically, you've been bitten by the bug, right?
We totally have.
That's the short answer.
we totally have. And I know that it can help our clients. So before we get into the real estate piece of this, because this is another big differentiator, is like, you are the real estate guy as it relates to Monday. And we're going to talk about that. But I want to know, what is it like? We're not affiliated with Monday, and you are the founder of Purple Plum. So right. What does it mean to be a partner?
Right. And, obviously partner means different things in different settings. In a law firm, it means one thing. In a consulting company, it means another thing. In the software ecosystem, it basically means a company that works very closely with the software vendor, in this case, Monday, to help with sales and implementation and support, as I mentioned earlier. And it really allows regionalization and focus on specific verticals, just to bring the value of the platform to that particular vertical. And real estate would be one of ours, restaurants, retail, and a couple others, and creative marketing as well. So as partners, we've kind of like plugged into the mothership. We work very closely with the Monday product development team and the sales team and the support team, but we're really an independent entity, and we focus on bringing Monday to folks that we feel we have a connection with and industry knowledge that can support them. So that's really kind of how partners fit in.
Okay, awesome. So what you started in retail and restaurant, and then you brought on this whole real estate piece of it. Like, where did that come
and so
from?
Just like Monday found us, real estate found us. It's kind of, I'm just going to sit around and wait for things to come to me. That's maybe my strategy unintentionally. When I started doing this Monday side hustle, as I mentioned, we would take any lead. It was a 10-hour project, a 20-hour project to help folks set up Monday.com. And then there were a massive variety of them. But early on, a significant minority were real estate related. And for some reason, the real estate community was very hungry for Monday. I think that was born out of a need to be served by software that didn't exist, and they were frustrated and confused and overwhelmed by what's available. And I think some of the early adopters started connecting the dots with Monday. Oh my gosh, this can work for us. It's easy to set up. It's not code. It's kind of low code or no code, as we say. And I can tailor it to my process, and I don't have to pay a programmer to do it. And I don't have to pay a large subscription for my 5-person team. And it kind of clicked. And so we saw, 5, 10, 15, 20 customers come to us with real estate. And then obviously we woke up and said, well, maybe we should pay attention to real estate. And so we started focusing more on real estate and learning more. We actually brought a realtor onto our team just to give us some more internal expertise. And just kind of things evolved from there, right? And the thing with the real estate, it tends to be pretty scrappy, especially with smaller businesses, right, focused on real estate. And I think Monday does a really good job, taking the scrappy out of a scrappy environment. I call it descrapifying scrappy, I like to say. And you've seen that in your own kind of environments, right?
Yeah.
So that's how we end up with real estate.
So it's interesting. So I can tell you what I've been in the real estate space for 15 years, and, everywhere from sort of at the corporate level all the way down to, the woods, right? Getting into the weeds with the agents at the ground level. And as an agent or a team continues to grow and is doing a ton of business, it becomes more and more difficult to transact, because the transactions, there are so many pieces that go into the transaction from contract to close. And there are so many nuances that it can be very difficult to manage if you've got numerous deals going on at one time. And so I think that that's probably one of the biggest pain points. What do you see as some of the biggest pain points, and what have you done to serve the space or to solve for it?
Yeah, for sure. So, in addition to what you mentioned, things like, fragmented data. So there's bits and pieces of data in different systems or different spreadsheets, or lack of visibility of what's going on, who's up next, who's working on what, or missed deadlines. We've got to keep, closing dates, other, important dates, or being able to collaborate with third parties. We've got folks, putting up the sign, painting the house, marketing folks, all the myriad of little tasks that need coordination that are not really well coordinated when you're dealing in a not so well defined process. Let's say that. And then I think the other piece is also lack of a big picture. Where am I for the month as a team? How many transactions have we taken through the pipe? Where are the transactions? How many listings are pending? How many closings are pending? Even a little bit deeper than that. Well, how much time have I spent on every step? So these are all, I think very grassroots types of problems, but I think can paralyze or blind a team, right? If they're not managed. And Monday at its core, serves that, process and structure and communication, right? And that's half the battle, right? Just once that's in place, then you can take it to the next level with, notifications. I need to notify someone that something is due. How do I remind someone? So these are some of the things that we've seen Monday, address at its core.
Oh, that is awesome. And so I'm just going to mention it again next Thursday, the 7th of September at noon Eastern. We are hosting a free webinar, and Gidon's actually going to take us through. He's going to do a demo of this real estate specific solution. And I've seen it, and I'm going to tell you, it is out of this world. I mean, especially if you're an individual agent, like no brainer. If you're a team leader, this is something that you need to, if you haven't already implemented something like this, you've got to take a look at it, because it's a game changer.
And it's probably, and thank you for that plug. But I should mention for the audience here, the term solution is such an ambiguous term, right? Sometimes a solution it's a piece of software. It works this way. Take it or leave it, maybe with a few, radio buttons to turn things on and off. For us, the way we view Monday, and specifically what we have in terms of Monday for real estate, it's more like a framework. It's a set of templates to get a team going, and then they can, build on that or refine it very easily, very quickly with one of our consultants, so that they're not feeling pigeonholed into one flavor of solution. And so really for us, solution is an enablement kind of concept, a framework, a template, a jumpstart.
Yeah.
And I think that's the difference, because no one wants to know. We've probably dealt with 100 different real estate teams, and everyone thinks they're special and does things differently. I mean, by and large, I'm sure you're shocked at that.
You totally get it. And this is one of the other things that I think Carrie and I towards you, is you totally understand the space. I mean, it is a space that is like no other. I mean, I came from consumer products goods, 15 years of that. And, you work in one business in one way, you can work in multiple industries in the same way, but real estate is completely different, because It is made up of individual entrepreneurs at the end of the day. And so you're right. Everybody has a specific way that they want to see things or do things. And so, I think that's a big differentiator, is that, you're providing the framework. The solution is a framework that can be easily customized and tweaked.
Right.
To serve, how you want to see your business run.
And I think also an important differentiator is who does the tweaking, right? And so in the typical kind of consulting software world, you got to get a developer, or you got to get a consulting company to do it. And so I think the beauty of Monday is once the team's up and running, they have one or two folks on their team that's been trained and comfortable with the platform, then they can do it on their own. They don't have to have this kind of dependency on a consulting company in the long term, right? And I think that's also important, that there's a certain sense of empowerment, both in terms of control and just from a budgetary perspective, for teams to kind of do it themselves and to start. I like to say Monday gives business teams permission to dream, because they can actually understand the technical mechanics. It's not rocket science. It's not code in by and large. And then that starts to happen. And as you and Carrie and myself this week, when we were talking for your team, we started dreaming on the call, and you guys started dreaming, oh, we can just connect that. And we can, when it gets to the stage, we can create a request for some, published material. And it's just kind of organic, right?
It's super fun. It actually, like, I actually can't wait us to like really dive deep on. We have some really big ideas out there, you guys. So, but we have to get through next week first. Okay. So what's your strangest use case with Monday?
Yes. It's interesting. One of the early use cases we had, and I think it remains the strangest, is we had a small company that had show jumping horses, right?
Show jumping horses?
Yes, show jumping horses. They go and, it's sports, and they go to different locations and they compete. And they had to take the horses to different locations to participate. And so they needed a tool to kind of track which horse was jumping at which time in which arena at a given venue. And so they wanted to have it on a mobile app so that they could keep track of things and make updates if things change. And so they looked to us just to help them they had set it up, and we just improved it for them. And so they were using Monday, very simply set up to manage their horses, Black Beauty and Silver Goose or whatever their horses were.
Wow.
It just speaks to the flexibility of the platform and how quickly it can be assembled. And on a more serious note, though we had nothing to do with this directly, one of, to me, a very heartwarming and just touching aspect of Monday is during the recent war, with Russia and the Ukraine. During that instability, there was a lot of difficulty managing refugees. It was an unplanned situation, and you had, unfortunate folks leaving their homes, trying to get on buses, trying to go to new countries, stopping in deportation camps. And there was no way to track this. And people, and unfortunately, some of the bad actors came in and were drivers taking a lot of money. So Monday sent in a team to the Ukraine of their employees as a volunteer thing. And in a couple of days, they set up a whole system to track buses, track people, scan people into buses, do background checks on drivers. People are looking for family members that could quickly look them up. Are they in this location, this location, this location? So it just speaks to kind of the flexibility of a platform that it could be kind of put together in a crisis. There was no project plan for this the week before. It just happened organically. So, obviously that's a bit of an extreme situation, but it speaks to how things can be put together pretty quickly. So I really love that story.
That is very
and the company itself, being behind it, right? Yeah,
they sound like a very forward-thinking, socially, aware organization.
Very much so.
Yeah. So give me an example of something unique that you have been able to deliver to a client.
Yeah. So one of the first, obviously from a real estate perspective, one of the first opportunities we had, I guess 4 or 5 years ago, was at a time when Zillow had a program called Zillow Offers, and that was, to my knowledge, it's a program that required brokerages to provide an appraisal within a very tight SLA, I think 4 or 5 hours, so that Zillow could respond to a customer on demand. And so they would send an email to the brokerage, say, this property 123 Main Street, you've got your clock starts now, 4 hours. And so there was no easy way for a team to keep track of those. Let's say they got 5 in a day and 10 in a week, and so the clock's ticking. So we had several customers come to us to basically integrate that kind of email from Zillow and have that create a Monday item and start the clock.
Wow.
And Monday has this timer, as we discussed earlier this week, actually. And so as the time's ticking, they're getting notifications. You've got 1 hour to go. Make sure you get it in. And so it just gave that kind of control to the real estate team that they're within the SLA for that particular request. So we did that actually for a couple of different customers, and that was a great use case for Monday, right? email comes in, starts the clock, assigned to someone on the team. They do the appraisal, they upload it, and then they press a button, send it back.
That's so interesting. Oh my God. I think that would stress me out if I was on that side. Like,
well, that's why you let the machine do the time counting and not you, right? In the past, you'd have someone literally on their phone with a countdown,
Yeah.
So that was a neat use case, and that kind of again got us really interested in real estate with Monday.
Wow, that's incredible. That's incredible. So as we get ready to sort of wrap up here,
time flies. Having fun.
What are 3 things you would like to leave our community with today?
Wow. I think related to Monday or just in general? Whatever I think. So I would say, the world of, from a technology perspective, the world of technology is overwhelming. It's even overwhelming for us technologists. So I think it's important not to go for the shiny object. And I think it's important to start somewhere simple and intuitive and go for the basics. Can I track my process through the 17 steps that I like to do? Can I know where I stand? Can I manage dates? Can I change it if I need to? So I think sometimes, and I think we're all susceptible to this. We are drawn to the most complex and as I said, the shiniest objects. So I think with Monday, it's kind of that right balance of complexity, but very usable and kind of low barriers to entry. So that's really one important takeaway, I would say. And then I think the second thing is, again, related to Monday, you're really making me think, but I think one of the interesting things about Monday, because let's say a whole bunch of realtors are using it, I think what's emerging is a community of folks using Monday for real estate. So I think there's that kind of inbuilt support mechanism. How did you do it? How do we do it? We're in different states. Let's share. We're not competing with one another. I think that's an important takeaway, is that there is a community gravitating around Monday for real estate. It's not just some custom build or on one hand, or one massive real estate platform that we have no influence on as the little guy, right? Yeah. Right. And I think the third thing is it's important that technology shouldn't feel like work, shouldn't feel like it's just difficult. There needs to be that little bit of excitement and a little bit of fun and a little bit of, just enjoyment. And I think all of those come with Monday. I think those are 3 good takeaways.
Yeah, I love that.
But that's important.
I love that. Just making some notes. Okay. And the last question before we sign off. 2 more, but finish this sentence. Know, like, trust is.
Know, like, trust. Essential.
Nice. All right, Gidon, where can people find you and how do they learn more about what you do and how you can support them with Monday?
Thank you for that question. We are based in Atlanta. Our company is called Purple Plum Consulting. We can have a whole nother session on how we got to Purple Plum. Our URL is purpleplumtech.com. And the easiest way to get to us is go to the monday.com website and go and find a partner. And we're there too. So as a platinum partner, so multiple ways to reach us. Really enjoy meeting with different folks in the real estate community and learning about their unique challenges and helping them because, everyone's at the end of the day, a human with a business trying to make it successful. And we like being part of that. So.
I love that. Thank you. Thank you so much. And before we sign off, we will put in the show notes the link to register for our webinar, which is happening next Thursday, September 7th at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific. It's just a short, 45 to 60 minutes. And we are going to talk all about Monday and how Gidon is going to actually do a really cool demo of the real estate.
And we'll get to show the Monday confetti. Right.
The Monday confetti. Too bad Jesse, our editor, couldn't throw some confetti right now, right?
We'll find a way.
Thank you so much for being here today. I'm looking forward to continuing to work with you and do our webinar together next week. For all of you who are watching, thank you so much for watching. Definitely, if you enjoyed what you saw today, share it with your friends. Let us know you watched. Give us a hello. Tell us, what you thought. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. And if you're listening on the podcast, make sure you hit that 5-star review. Even write us a little review. Share it with your friends. Those are super important to us. And thanks. And we'll see you again in 2 weeks. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you so much.
All right. Take care.
Bye.